The Knights of the Ship Actual Play Podcast presents Zweihander, Feast of Goblins.
You still your nerves and scout around the base of the ziggurat, Maja. Mm-hmm. Keep your nerve just, and you cannot see any doors.
No doors, let's go.
If there is a way in here, it's not around the first or second tiers.
We've still got around behind this ziggurat to explore.
Around behind the ziggurat and behind the tree that we
went behind the tree, didn't we?
Apparently not.
Thought we did.
Oh, did we go and have a look and there was giants?
No.
Giant skeleton?
The giant skeletons are up on the embankment when I went up there, and I think, was it you who went with me?
I came up. Where was
snuck
that,
up
though?
there. They were, as we were coming down the path.
Oh, this is where we saw the whole area.
Yeah, so they're up well above us.
All right.
That's how we saw the map, yeah.
I don't want to have a look, though. It's too risky.
I'll go.
Yeah, but you're prone to shooting things, so no.
I won't shoot him if I'm up close. I'll hit him with my axe.
Well, I'm basically useless right now, so...
What time of day is it?
It's about midday. You'd disembarked from the barge, you'd made your way to the canyon, and you've just been fighting things ever since.
I don't think we've been around behind the cigarette. I think there's area behind there we can explore. There was something at the giant ribcage area, the catapult area. Was that goblins?
You saw, now that you look at it, you think they might have been goblins sitting on a roof of this sort of structure that is made out of a ribcage and sternum.
Where do we want to go?
Back to the boat. Have a rest. No, serious.
Okay, I suppose we can go back to the boat. How many? I suppose we could do that in a day. Yeah, head back to the boat, have a rest.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, I'm not doing great.
Clotilda can carry you. All right, we're going back to the boat and having a rest.
Very well.
Not that I'm injured or anything.
Well, you can press on and we'll wait to hear from you.
We'll catch up. We'll catch up tomorrow.
You don't have a guide.
We can go back the way we came, though, can't we?
Well, can you remember?
Yes, we can.
Navigate through this difficult
I remember
terrain.
teasing the guide because it was so easy to find our way here.
Yes.
Surely it would be easy to find
I'll have a go at navigation.
Well, you're going to find out, aren't you?
You can have an easy navigation roll to get back.
Can I help or something?
You can give him
I only pass because it's an easy.
Okay.
All right. So you make it back to the boat, and the bargeman is there. He says, there's the rest of you then. The old lady and the forester, they're already making their way down river.
What?
Swimming?
No, footpad along the river edge.
Did they say where they're trying to get to?
I think they're going to Scold.
They're just going to walk.
No, to Harmonia.
Still, that's...
It's not as fast by boat, but it'll take them a day and a half, perhaps.
Oh, well, I hope they enjoy themselves.
Didn't we pay Forster?
Oh, he was hopeless anyway.
Well, we did, but we'll go and get our money back on the way back. Well, things out there in the giant's graveyard are...
Quite invigorating.
Well, that's not how I was going to describe it, but certainly, yes. I'm quite tired. And Raphe just, slumps and sits down on the ground.
Well, what do you want? Are we going? Do you want to get on the boat and go back?
No, we're just having a rest.
What, here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could we take it out into the middle of the river?
Yes, we could. That's a good idea.
Okay, we'll do that
Or
then.
we could even take it down river and come back. Or upriver and hide somewhere. If things could follow you.
What do you think would be best?
You look like you have a haunted look on your faces.
Not me. I just don't care.
You seem like you don't care. You must be so shocked by the horrors of war.
Skeletons.
What?
Animated skeletons. It was quite an interesting fight.
Just never mind what she says. We're all very tired.
Well, I'll try and find a good spot where the water flows strongly so nothing can swim here onto the barge.
Thank you.
And so he moves the raft to another location for the night. You make yourself comfortable on the barge, and is there anything you want to do before morning?
Our injuries are mostly fine, aren't they?
Yours might be.
I mean, I've bandaged your... I mean, I
Can
bandaged
bandage
you.
this again tomorrow, if that's... So how much you heal just resting? Nothing, or...
Damage in general?
Either or, peril needs to go down too.
Take some laudanum. You can immediately advance up one step as a quick fix thing, or just general healing. Damage is bandage plus a heal check. But if you just want to sit around for days and days and recuperate, that's... I still think you need the bandage because otherwise it can become infected if you just leave it. But it does heal peril, having a night's sleep. Now, is there any special preparations you want to take out on the barge? Scouting, watch, that sort of thing?
I think we'll set a watch.
Take a shift each?
Yeah.
I don't know if Raphe wants to watch out for anything at this point in time.
Yeah, doesn't seem to work for you.
Didn't go well last time.
So, Frida is going to be on watch with
Yeah,
Helmut?
sure. I'll take first watch.
You're going to take
yes.
a watch?
Yep.
Barge will take a watch, and who wants to take the lead watch arrangements? Could make a stealth test.
Stealth?
Yep. Actually, make it an awareness. That's sort of more moving around the countryside.
Yeah, any penalty or bonus?
It's going to be easy because you're on a river, so it's easy to see things coming.
That'd be a 27.
All right. So the night passes without incident, and those of you who are with peril, I think you can go up to imperiled.
No, you lose it all.
Unhinged. So is it?
Unhindered.
Unhinged.
What's after unhindered?
Imperiled.
Imperiled. Yep, that one. But your physical injuries remain.
So wait, do we go to unhindered or imperiled?
We're fine. We're
Unhindered.
Unhindered, yeah.
How are you feeling, Raphe, after that bit of rest?
Unhindered.
Helmut, would you like me to
Well, I'm feeling
pray
a
over you
I
to heal some of your damage?
I feel a lot better. I'm only lightly wounded. It's up to you if you want to use it now. Possibly not.
We could see how we go.
We'll carry on for the moment. Thank you for offering.
So, where do we want to search today? Do we want to go to the ribcage area, or do we want to search behind the ziggurat?
We should probably look behind the ziggurat or the tree.
Didn't we search behind the tree, Paul? I'm sure we did.
I can't remember. But if you had, you wouldn't have found anything.
Yeah, so I don't think we did find anything. I think we found some, a pile of garbage or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
How about we don't go that way then?
Anyway.
Okay, the ziggurat.
If it helps, you search that third tine that you couldn't quite see from the hilltop, and you find that it's an empty canyon past the tree.
That's the past the tree.
Okay, so I think around behind the ziggurat, without shooting any skeletons.
Are you sure? We're feeling better now, and maybe we've got to go into the. Maybe you can climb up onto the top, and there's like a.
Helmet? We're not shooting any skeletons.
Maja, please, I'm talking.
I slap him around the head. Shut up, boy.
So this ziggurat, is it possible? Can we see through it? Is it
No,
solid?
it's solid.
So if
Step
you-
pyramid.
Yeah, theoretically, if we got to the top, there could be a shaft going straight down.
Theoretically, yes.
Right.
So do you want to go up and challenge the skeletons?
Sure.
I know you do.
Mm.
Is there only one more tier of skeletons or multiple?
There's only 4 left,
Yeah,
isn't
there's one more tier.
Okay, and there's how many on there?
There are
1.
4 skeletons.
So they go all around it, or is it just on the one face?
They're sort of at the 4 points of the tier.
Well, if we lure them down, remember we could attack them easily while they were climbing down if we were ready for them.
Yeah, but the ranged attacks were doing no damage.
No, we don't ranged attack them. We just go and stand at the base of the pyramid and wait for them to climb down.
Beat the snot out of them as they come down.
Mm.
I don't know. That's what Paul wants us to do. I just saw it on his face.
Yes, the previous skeletons had that tactic.
Yeah, but these ones are better equipped skeletons.
Well, have they got toboggans or something? I mean,
They've got armor and better
Grappling
weapons,
hooks.
better looking. Like they're
sure, but they still have to get off the ziggurat.
well, there is steps. They could just walk to the steps and come down the steps.
There are.
It's not steps, is it?
No.
If it was
Oh,
steps, the other ones would have come
Okay.
down.
I've just checked healing damage. I didn't realise that the more damaged you are, or the further down the threshold you are, the harder it is to actually heal you. So I think I might, while we're not doing much, apply a bandage to myself and just try to heal myself now before I
Die.
Yeah, otherwise if I go further down the damage threshold, it gets harder to heal. So I might just do a heal check now. 12, so I'll consume one bandage and move myself up the damage threshold path.
As you watch these armoured skeletons, you notice one has a longbow, two have barbed spears, and one has a falchion.
Raphe does not watch any of the armoured skeletons. That ended badly last time.
Keeps his eyes down.
That's right. Let's make our way around the ziggurat. See what's behind it.
So you pass by the Raven Monument, and as you round the canyon corner, you notice that two dry cracks open up on either side of this dead-end canyon. The cracks are high but narrow. Although you see nothing to alarm you, a terrible anguish seems to hang heavy over this cul-de-sac. The parched canyon walls here look even more dried and hardened than they do elsewhere in the canyon complex. In the very centre of the canyon is a human skeleton drawn taut by leather thongs fastened at the wrists and ankles. Each of the leather straps is fastened to a wooden stake that is driven deep into the ground.
Do we want to approach?
Oh, we've come this
So
far.
these cracks you're talking about, are they in the wall of the canyon, like entrances in a sense into the rock? Is that
Yes,
what you mean?
yes.
Okay.
One is, like a cave, a narrow cave entrance. The other one is sort of more of a fissure into the side of the canyon.
Cave first, then Fisher? Or do we want to look at the skeleton
We
first?
should possibly check out this skeleton. Someone's been staked out here.
Well, you should go ahead,
Okay.
Helmut.
Approach the skeleton.
I follow.
Right.
If you get me killed, Helmut, I'm going to
What are you going to do?
I'm going to come back and haunt you as a skeleton.
If I get you killed, I'll probably be dead too.
So this skeleton looks as though it has been here for a very long time. It is unmoving.
I'll slice the tethers with the blade of my spear.
What happened to this poor guy? Perhaps we should give him a proper burial.
Maja, you go to cut the straps, and as you do so, you feel a terrible deep ache in the hand that you used to cut. And you feel, I guess it's somewhat like arthritis.
I am old, so you know.
It's finally kicking.
You even notice that your hand now has some age spots on it.
We already had age spots. What are you talking about?
Some more.
More.
What's going on over there?
I'm going to stop cutting it.
Oh, you've cut through that one of the tethers.
Oh, I'm not, you can cut the rest on next, Helmut.
Well, it shouldn't really matter to me because I'm young.
Well, might make you old enough to have some common sense.
I've got plenty of common sense, Maja. I go cut a tether.
You cut a tether as well.
Sure.
The same thing happens to you. You feel
man, now I'm getting
arthritis infect your joints, and your skin starts aging. 'Cause instead of being that of a
13,
teenager,
yeah.
it's sort of more like that of an older boy.
Oh.
Ilse walks up with her axe to one of the tethers and definitely doesn't cut it. Why the hell would you how would you have done that, Helmut, when you saw
Well,
what happened
because
to Maja?
she's obviously
Maja,
very
why would
old.
you say cut it to him?
I didn't.
You did.
Yeah, actually, you did.
So it's got two limbs free. Does anything happen with two limbs free?
Nothing happens.
Well, I wonder how we can cut the other two.
Why do you want to cut the thing?
Well, he's got poor guys tied pinned to the ground. He's been stuck here for some time.
It's just like a skeleton of a dead person who's been there for a long time. Why do we need to cut
it must
anything?
do something.
I'm going to leave it. Let's just go check out the cave.
Okay.
The cave?
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Paul, what happens if I try and pour oil on the leather?
Nothing.
Or what happens if I stand back and throw a match at the oiled leather?
It will burn.
Okay. Well, I pour oil on the two remaining tethers. I throw matches at them until I catch it on fire.
All right. So the remaining straps burn off.
Hooray!
And
Great,
then you
mission
all die of a
accomplished.
curse. I mean, it's probably something really bad, but
Why is nothing happening?
Nothing happens?
No, nothing else happens.
Well, it's just stupid. I stride up to it and kick the skull off.
Oh, God.
I'd like you both to make resolve checks, flip to fail,
And what are we doing? I'm making a resolve.
because you've been cursed.
oh,
Oh, dear.
So how does that work again?
it's a resolve, and you take the worst. So if you roll the dice and it's 37, you'd
Okay.
flip it to 73 and take that.
Where is resolve? What is resolve? Oh, here we go. Right.
I got 11.
I got 100.
So
All
I'm
right.
fine.
Yeah.
Helmut, on the other hand.
Helmut, on the other hand, is going to wither into a...
Yes. Even now, like with the arthritis, you think that if this is to continue, then by tomorrow your agility would be reduced
Oh, dear.
by some.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Do you think I shouldn't have done that?
I think you shouldn't have kicked the skull like you just did.
Well, it was being stupid.
Even now, looking, your skin has become somewhat scaly.
Oh, man.
Has mine cleared up or?
Yours is still numb, but it doesn't seem to be getting any worse.
Stupid skeleton. We were trying to help.
So, in through the cave, right?
So I'm guessing this cave is not big enough for a horse.
It's pretty unlikely. You might be able to get it in a little bit. Yeah, you can take a horse. Looking like when you inspect, you could probably put a horse into a little ways into the cavern, but then it becomes narrow.
I will bring Clotilda in and hobble her in the cave so she's not out in the open.
Can you hobble Helmut too so he doesn't get himself into more trouble?
Well, I don't think I want to touch him now. Who knows what happens with this curse?
So this narrow cave opens up into an even narrower tunnel. And there are two main features here. There's a fissure in the floor, and further on, squeezing through, is a statue.
Do we have any light?
I'm pretty sure I got a lantern.
I got torches, which I will strike one.
No, apparently I don't. I've got surgical
Oh, now
torso.
who's the clever one?
I've got surgical torso. I can cut off your hand.
Well,
So who's got the light?
I've got a lot.
Helmut.
And who's going first?
I will.
I'll go
well-
first.
young Helmut, presumably.
Yeah,
So Helmut, you're leading with the light?
sure thing.
All right, so this narrow tunnel is sort of split by this fissure. You can go around the edges, and just beyond it, you can sort of like towing around the edge of the fissure, you can see some sort of statue in the distance. Looks somewhat feminine. The actual crevice itself splits the passage here as if by the blow of some titanic hammer. And looking into the darkness beyond, you see a sandy floor some 12 feet below. There is a faint breath of wind drifting up through that hole that is somewhat cold upon your face. There's also a faint scent of moisture lingering in the breeze, but the odour is not overwhelming.
A scent of moisture. There's something about blood, wasn't it? Blood stained the... What was the story?
Giant's blood, wasn't it?
Giant's blood.
Stain the earth.
Yeah, and there was something about the earth being cleft, wasn't there?
You were in the clefts.
Can't remember.
Yeah, well, there's one going down into the ground. So can I see 12 feet down? There's a sandy floor, but there's air coming up from it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see if there's any entrances or anything down there?
Yeah, having a look around, you see that there appears to be a smaller crawlway down there.
Are we going to need a rope to get down there, or...?
You could jump.
I've got rope.
I'm not saying you should, but I mean, you could.
Well, should we check out the statue first?
All right. So you're looking at the statue first?
I think so. So we've got to scooch around the edge first,
Yeah.
have we?
Yep. So you can do that as long as you're not in any haste. And this statue looks like a foul and evil old hag. She's holding a human skull in her left hand that looks quite real. And deep in its blackened eye sockets are tiny flickers of light. There appears to be no natural explanation for this strange phenomenon. You cannot escape the feeling that there is more to this statue than it appears.
How did this statue of Joan get down here?
That's what I was going to say.
It doesn't work if you say it.
The old crone's right hand is tightly clasped around a gnarled walking stick. Its many grooves and curves remind you of the shriveled flesh of a mummy.
Oh, so perhaps if I grab this thing, it will unshrivel me.
No, just no.
Well, it might, though.
Maybe if you set fire to it after we have left.
Should I try and touch it?
No.
What about the skull?
Also, no. Your history of touching skulls is fairly fraught.
Well, if I keep touching skulls, surely, statistically, I'm going to touch a decent one eventually.
It will end in some way or fashion, I suppose, yes.
I think it can only go well.
Well, I would just like to point out that Raphe hasn't actually made the way around the...
Yeah, I'm standing
The
back.
crevice.
He's the only one at the statue. He's just there with the light shining on it so we can all see it.
Fair enough.
Oh, come on.
Do you want a closer look at this statue?
It's not going to do anything good, is it?
Go on, you know
Nothing
you want
down
to.
here does.
Got any oil left, Maja?
I don't think I do.
Neither have I. Used it on those straps. I assume I used it all on the straps.
What are you going to use oil for?
If we need to set fire to a mummy? Well, they're already full of chemicals. Maybe they're already... No, I don't know.
It wouldn't have taken much oil to burn those straps.
Yeah, I don't think I have any flammable resources.
So you think this is a mummy?
I don't know. That's what Paul said it looked like to you.
How do you know what
Do
a
I
mummy
think
looks
it?
like?
Yeah, what does a mummy look like?
It looks like it's a stone, but the skull looks very real.
The skull in his hand. I take it.
Okay, so you touch the skull, and you notice that you think that there is a fine kind of cut around the top of the skull, and you think you can lift it up like it's a cup or a vessel.
Okay. I'll take the top.
When you take it up, it takes you a little moment to realise there's this sort of black mote winking and flashing in front of your face before you realise it is a bat.
Huh.
And it takes to the ceiling and starts flying out.
Is there anything in it? Anything else in the skull?
Raphe is going to follow the bat and see if it goes out of the cave.
It leaves the cave and flies into the fissure.
Hang on, what? It flies into the other other. That's interesting.
Do we want to explore that before we go down?
I don't know. Is it going to be full of bats?
Maybe.
How do you feel about bats?
Oh, you know.
Does anything else happen with the statue?
Nothing else happens at this stage.
Yet.
Does someone else want to come and grab this stick?
No.
The stick
But what if it fixes me?
The stick is part of the statue.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you think grabbing things is going to fix you, then you should do it yourself.
But I'm already a bit messed up.
We
And
know.
It would just... fine. I'll leave the statue alone. Are we going to try and climb down into the...
Or do we want to check the fissure first?
You can go and check the fissure. You take the lead.
Yeah.
All right. Pass me the torch.
Okay, I'll give you a torch and light up. I'll light up another one.
I'll go check out the fissure.
Okay. On your own? And this is the fissure on the other side of the canyon. Okay, so this opens up into a slightly larger area. As you push through a slender crack in the sunburnt walls of the canyon, you discover that it widens into a dangerous-looking passage. The air is dark and dry, with dust drifting up from your every footstep to scratch at your eyes and lungs. The passage is jagged, with two long stalactites near the entrance that give you the impression of a cruel, fanged mouth opening wide to bite you. The ground seems to have been stained here by some dark fluid. There are also many evil symbols of power and pain deeply marked into the walls here. Their terrible appearance causes a shudder to run through your body for a brief moment. The darkness in the passages ahead seem unnaturally deep, almost having a liquid appearance.
I go back to the cave.
Go on, go and check them out. What's the worst could happen?
I go back to the cave where these guys are.
So, Maja, you return to the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Back already, Maja?
Yep, not going there.
Why not?
Blood, horrible symbols, more blood, spiked teeth. Looks menacing. Don't want to go there.
Don't describe it that way. That will make Helmut want to go there.
It does sound kind of cool. Obviously, the important stuff's going to be in the most menacing place, isn't it?
Well, from what you can see so far, the only way to go is down into the fissure and the crawl space, or out to the cavern on the other side.
How big is that crawl space?
5 foot diameter.
Can these husky types get in there?
They can, but if they were wearing bulky armor, they'd have to.
Well, I'm not.
They'd find it really difficult.
I'll go.
Brigade's not bulky.
That's
is it?
probably better if I go because I'm slender. Raphe will go down and check it out if you
Okay.
get a rope ready for him.
Does Brigandine count as bulky?
Yes.
I mean,
Have you seen Brigandine armor?
yeah, but, it's a 5 foot space. It's 5 foot wide. It's more than enough for me to get through.
I think to get through, you're not over encumbered, are you?
No.
It'll just take you longer. So if you had to do it in a hurry, there could be some penalty.
I've got rope. Oh, do we need rope to get down, or...?
12 feet deep.
Yes.
All right. Who's got the rope?
I do. Is there any stalagmites to tie it to?
Yes, you can tend to find some bit of stone to tie it around and make your way down.
Please hold on to it while I climb down as well, Maja.
Okay. I hold it with my arthritic hand.
Better than nothing.
Raphe, you get down to the bottom of the fissure and you find that the bottom of it is quite sandy and there's a crawl space going into the darkness that is also sandy. You think you could make it through pretty easily.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the torch ahead of me and crawl through.
It's about 25 feet. You sort of go round a bit of a bend. The narrow crawlway opens up to form a large stone chamber. The floor is sandy and the air is moist. A single rib, seeming that of a human, has been jammed into the wall of this cavern. And there's no indication as to why it's here, but the very fact is that it's yellowed with age and indicates it might have been here for some time. Some 20 feet ahead, the floor suddenly ends and leaves you looking across a mist-filled cavern. The vapours in this area are very pale blue in colour, giving you the impression of a fog in a battlefield of blue flowers. The ripples in the mist are almost hypnotic. But more stunning than the mist, however, is the bridge that spans the chasm. It is clearly nothing less than a 20-foot-long bone, the femur of some immense humanoid. The bone arches out above the veil of fog to reach a landing some distance away.
All right, a Raphe will call back down the tunnel and say, Helmut, there's some bones in here for you to touch.
Excellent. I start climbing down.
How hard is it going to be to get through the crawl space? Will all of us be able to?
Yes, you'll be able to get through.
While they're doing that, I'd like to examine the bone. I don't want to touch it, but I just want to see, does it look like it's been forced into the rock, or does it look like it's protruding and has all been excavated? It
looks like it's been probably placed there. It hasn't been excavated.
So someone's actually forced the bone into the rock.
Yes, and if you make a skullduggery test, I can tell you more.
Skullduggery, that's a flip to fail, so unlikely, but I'll give it a go. No, fail. 62.
It's sort of just jammed in there. Its purpose inscrutable.
Mr. Raphe, there's a bone sticking out of the wall.
Yes. What do you think of it?
Don't know. It looks like someone stuck a bone in the wall for some reason.
Well, why don't you pull it out and have a look at it?
Well, why don't you just let me take a couple of steps
Hearing
backwards?
voices.
Yes.
You down there?
Yeah.
Rightio.
Is Ilse coming too?
Ilse's down, yes, coming down too.
As you both have a look at this bone in more detail, you can kind of sort of see that it's connected to some kind of mechanism, but the actual purpose of this mechanism, you're not sure.
It's a lever.
It's a lever. It has not been used in some time.
Have you got skullduggery?
I'm just trying to work that out myself.
It's an agility skill.
I do not.
Well,
Star mean flip to fail.
Yep.
I did not know that, but I can.
Unless you trained in it, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's give her a go. No, it's a fail. Well, shall I give it a pull?
I think if it's a lever, no.
No.
Pulling levers does nothing.
What do you mean pulling levers does nothing? Pulling levers does...
Sticking out, so you want to put it up or down.
Yeah, obviously. That's what levers are for. I'm going to pull the lever.
Where is everyone standing when you pull the lever?
I said I was backed up to the...
I'm moving away. I'm moving to stand up.
Close-ish.
Why is nothing in this place do anything good.
Or maybe it does, and we're just missing out. You never know.
Yeah,
It's a healing bone.
I hope so.
So it sounds like Raphe and Maja are quite a way, and you're sort of taken by surprise by the sounds of it, Ilse.
Yeah.
Nothing obviously happens straight away.
Hooray!
I want to keep an eye on the bridge and the mist while this is happening.
Okay. What are you keeping an eye on, Maja?
Same.
What are you keeping an eye on, Ilse?
Helmut and the lever. I didn't realise it was a lever until I saw him pull it, and now I'm like, oh,
I'm staring intently at the bone.
say a little prayer. Dear Lord, please let nothing bad happen.
All right. Everyone can make an awareness test, flip to fail.
Success.
Failure.
Failure.
Raphe, you hear it first, and then some seconds later it is Helmut. What it sounds like is that coming from the crawl space you just came through, it sounds like the pouring of grain.
Sand.
Well, where would that be coming from, though?
Well, something might have opened. Do we have a sense? Is it where the sound we're hearing? Does it sound like it'd be falling at our level, our ground level, or above or below? Do we have any sense of that?
It's whatever's falling. It's falling in the crawl space that you just came through.
Okay.
That's not so good.
I think you've blocked us in, Helmut. Can I look in the crawl space?
Yes, you can see sand trickling in. You need to decide now whether you want to stay on this side or try and make it to the other side.
Well, I'm going to express my distaste at a lever that causes a avalanche.
Well, I'd kind of like to go, but I don't think we're going to make it, so I'd rather not split us up.
Yeah.
And definitely Maja, wearing armour, would not make it.
Oh, but Clotilda's on the other side.
When we came in the cave in this crawl space, does it head towards where the fissure was in the other side? Like if we went into the cave and then down and then the crawl space, which way did it? What direction did the crawl space go?
Towards
Okay, so you came in, let's say, into the east. We'll call it east, and the crawlway went east into this chamber you're now in, and the bone bridge is east of you.
Maybe this eventually, if we keep following and going further in, we'll eventually come back out somewhere.
Hopefully, yeah. Otherwise, we're screwed.
Maybe we'll come back out that fissure that was just nearby.
It doesn't look like it's heading in that direction, but I think we don't really have much choice to where we go now. Are we able to get onto the bone bridge from where we are?
Yes, you can walk towards it.
Do you think I shouldn't have pulled that lever?
What did you reckon, Helmut?
I don't know. I mean, it was there.
Can you push it back up?
I'll give it a go.
You sort of push it up and it just falls back.
I think I broke it.
Well, I better get back to my horse. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Raphe.
Yes, Helmut.
Can you leave the lollies?
I'm not going, Helmut.
Oh.
It's too late. The tunnel is blocked.
Mr. Raphe.
Yes, Helmut.
Can I have a lolly?
Yes.
Thank you.
Once we're across the bridge.
Rightio.
Lead the way, Helmut.
Oh, I'm off. Yep.
Did I just kill a child?
I think so.
There's going to be some corruption.
Okay, this is a narrow rock ledge that stands in the centre of a wide chamber. Beneath the ledge is a chasm filled with swirling mists, those blue ones, that seem to shift and ripple like boiling water in a cauldron. A bitter, almost acidic scent drifts up from the mists, but nothing can be seen through the pale blue waves of fog. And there are two huge bones that form bridges off this ledge, and then up above the misty chasm. You're standing at the one that goes to the east, and then another one sort of heads up. The bones are yellow with age, although a fine layer of moisture, no doubt a byproduct of the mist, clings to them like teardrops.
I am a little confused. So this cave runs north, but when we got into it, it turned at some point?
Yeah, that ridge is quite large.
So we headed east into the opening. We went down into the crawl space. That turned at some point, you said.
Oh, yeah, it's a little...
Oh, so just twisting but not changing in direction of travel. Okay, so we've essentially consistently gone east.
Yes.
And looking out over the chasm, we're facing east.
Yep.
So one of the bones goes from there east.
Yep.
And the other one...
then heads further up north. So the bridge, where Helmut is,
Yep.
that bone goes to a little landing, and then from that landing there's another bone heading north and slightly on an incline.
Okay, is that the only way to go, or is there another direction from the landing?
There isn't any other...
Okay, so it turns north.
So we've got to cross over 2 bone bridges.
Okay, the landing explains everything.
Okay, is Helmut already crossing over?
Yeah, I'm going.
Has anyone got a cloth to wipe away the condensation?
Looks pretty slippery.
Is the top of it convex? Like,
Yeah, roughly.
anyway, what happens to Helmut?
Well, what are you doing, Helmut?
Okay, so you're saying it's covered in condensation, so it's slippery, obviously.
It would be slippery if you ran. Like those signs at the pool.
Should I be tied onto something, maybe?
With what?
The rope's back at the cave entrance.
Can we go? Oh,
No.
No, because someone blocked the way.
sorry.
You've got rope as well, don't you, Brent?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to drop down on all fours and going to...
I mean, I
crawl
don't think you
across.
have to be that.
Well, how wide is it?
It's 20 feet. Oh, hang on. 20 foot long.
And how wide?
That's the important part.
2.5 feet.
Oh,
So it's not very wide at all.
No, it's
I
not.
want to be very careful on this thing. I want to crawl across.
So you're crossing young Helmut?
Mm-hmm. On all fours.
As you cross, these ghost-like figures reach up out of the mist. You need to make a fear test, which is a resolve test. Now, just before you do that, a critical failure will result in you losing balance and falling.
Well, it's not a critical failure.
And as to if you fail, then you might want to do something that your character would do if they're scared.
But
if
I'm
you're-
currently doing it. I have failed, and I am yelling and generally
clinging to the bridge.
Yeah, no, I'm going to drop down flat and just hug the bone. Help! There's the hands and things.
Yes, they start pulling at you.
Can someone help out?
Well, I think you're just going to have to choose a direction and go, Helmut.
How far across am I? Am I closer to the... Oh, bugger it, I'll keep going. I'll start shimmying along.
I'll start shimmying along as well.
Go, Helmut, you can do it.
Okay, I'm shimmying madly.
Okay.
Quite gracelessly.
The other thing, Helmut, is you take 2d10 plus 2 mental peril. You take 12 mental peril.
So it was a resolve test?
Yes.
Standard?
Yep.
So it's got to exceed, hasn't it? So it's just taking me down 1. So my thing is 12.
And you're a dunderhead?
Is this counted as magic?
Oi.
Is this counted as magic? Because I have resist magic.
No, this isn't.
So did you pass your fear test?
Yes.
So I do take an extra
I just
1.
noticed I had resist magic next to it as
Being
well, and I was like,
dunderhead.
does that affect that?
Maja, you're able to straddle the bridge and make your way. I don't know how you do it, but you're able to put the apparitions from your mind and keep focused, getting to the landing.
Well, I assume I made it there because otherwise you'd be climbing across me. Have I made it?
Yes, you
Let's get
eventually
climbed across.
make it across,
Right.
but your other 2 companions are over the other side. Raphe and
Right.
do you want to switch to you?
Let's see if we can get over.
I mean, my resolve is not good.
Don't be frightened. You can do it. I'll say a prayer for you. Dearest God, please don't let Raphe fall to his death as he crosses this slippery, dangerous bridge.
Well, I guess I start crossing, and this will probably be bad. I rolled 100, so I'm falling off.
All right, so you lose your nerve and fall down. First, you take peril damage. 14.
Okay,
Is this where we lose Raphe?
apparently.
And then you take some falling damage. And roll me a d6 as well, please.
4.
Okay. So you fall down through the mists.
No, Raphe!
You take 18 damage.
Ouch.
Okay.
And when you look around, you realise that you've missed some jutting rib bones where you can see other skeletons impaled upon them.
Okay, I'm moderately wounded. Oh, does that ignore armor when you fall, or is it?
Yes, but you don't take injuries.
Okay, well, if it ignores armor, then it's 3. Then I'm seriously wounded.
If you fall, a number of yards in excess of 3 plus your brawn bonus, you need to make a arduous toughness test. So you fell 13 feet.
Well, that's more than 3 plus my brawn bonus. So arduous is minus 30.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. 12 or less. No.
Okay, you're incapacitated from the fall. Unable to walk or use movement actions until your damage and peril condition tracks are restored to unhindered and all injuries fully recuperated from.
Okay, so I'm essentially dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still talk.
Raphe, where are you?
Mr. Raphe!
I'm very badly hurt.